Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So in this quick video I thought I'd go through what a swim feeder is and the different types, especially if you're new to fishing or you're getting into fishing and you want to use one of these things. Hopefully I'll do my best to explain all the different sort of types, the main types, and when and what they're used for, things like that. So I don't do that much feeder fishing these days. I used to do a lot more when I was younger, for the main reason that I thought when I started fishing that the best bait and pretty much the only bait to use was maggots. So I always used to use maggots. I didn't seem to have any luck catching fish without maggots, so with my confidence, it was without the maggots I didn't have any confidence, so I was always using maggots, and for that reason I was always using different types of feeders. These are the only feeders I've currently got to show you, swim feeders. There are different ones available, but the basics of the swim feeder, it's just a small canister, a small compartment where you put maggots inside, and it has a small weight at the back to help with it casting out, and then it has a series of little holes in it to allow the maggots to wriggle out, and they will wriggle on the bank, on the bottom of the lake or the river near to your hook bait, which will be attached along here somewhere, and that will help to attract fish to your hook bait. So it's just something designed to get the feed, the maggots, out to around your hook bait to attract fish and catch more fish. There's lots of different designs, and big ones, small ones, different ways of using them. The main one is this is a very small one, but the same kind of size. You can get a slightly bigger one. So size wise, why would you use a very small feeder like this, or why would you use a larger one, sort of this kind of size? Well, there's a few reasons for that. First reason, depending on what time of year you're fishing, if you're fishing in the winter months when it's cold, the metabolism of a fish slows down. They're cold-blooded creatures. They don't tend to eat as much, so you don't need to feed them as much. If you overfeed them, you'll struggle to catch them. So these small feeders are ideal for in the winter time, for releasing a small amount of feed, and so not putting the fish off because they've had too much to eat. So winter months I'd go for a smaller feeder, and in the summer months I'd go for a larger feeder so that you can get more bait out. There's also different shapes. You can see this one's got a weight on the back that's quite a bit bigger than the weight on the back of here. Now you need to look out for that, depending on how far you're casting. If you're fishing a very big lake, or you're fishing somewhere that has current and you need the feeder to stay in position, you can imagine if you cast this into a fast flowing river, it would probably just hit the bottom and carry on moving. Probably the same with this one, but you can get ones with very big weights on them, which will help to anchor it on the bottom in a fast flow, keep it in position so that it doesn't just keep rolling down the riverbed. And then there's also ones like, say, like this one. This is made more for aerodynamics. If you're casting a long distance, you can see the shape of it. It looks a bit like a shuttle that's going to re-enter the atmosphere. It's kind of designed to cut through the air and then go down nicely, and probably stay upright as well along the bottom like this, rather than flat on its side. This might be more used with a different kind of a setup where the feeder is at the bottom of the line, and then you've got the hook coming off the line up here somewhere, as opposed to this just being in line with the hook along here like this. So there's different designs depending on where you're fishing. If you're fishing in small ponds and small lakes, I'd recommend just a standard little feeder like this, maybe a bigger one in the summer and a smaller one in the winter time. They open up at the top here, as you can see. You put your maggots in. A quick tip, when you're new to feeder fishing, put the maggots on your hook first before you load up the feeder, because if you do it the other way around, you'll end up with half the maggots wriggling out the feeder before you've even got the hook bait on. So get the hook bait on, then fill the feeder, push it down, and then you're ready to go. So there's various different shapes and sizes that you can get, various designs from different companies. This one's called the feeder bomb, so as I say, it sort of propels through the air. If you're going to do a lot of casting, you might want one like that. Less chance of your line getting tangled up probably as well. These ones, again, you want to use a swivel on the end of these ones. You can imagine if you don't have a swivel, this could just wrap around your line, get it all tangled up. Put a swivel on here and you should be okay. And again, like this one runs in line, so when you take the top off, when you put it back on, you can put the top back through the center. I'll just show you in a minute. And you can see how that's attached in line with the feeder, directly in line. Less chance of that tangling up, as opposed to this one, which is sort of off balance and it's attached to the back. Although in general, it doesn't matter too much, but you really need to look at where you're fishing. If you're fishing a fast flowing river, you might want to get a nice big heavy feeder that you can put plenty of maggots in. If you're fishing in the winter time for say silverfish, roach, you'll probably want a nice small little feeder like this one. When I was a kid, I actually made a feeder with a 35mm film case. I just attached a swivel to it and drilled some holes in it, and it actually worked. I caught a few fish with that. So there's nothing complicated about these. They're quite simple things. They're just getting the bait out efficiently to where the hook is, and they're not releasing it all at once. So just check out how many holes your feeder has. If you want the feed to get out quick and you want to reel in and get another lot out and you've got a lot of fish feeding, plenty of holes will do. I've seen anglers drill extra holes into their feeders. And if you want a slow release of bait, smaller feeder and less holes. And that's about it really for the swim feeder. If you have anything to add to this, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section on this video. I just thought I'd briefly go through feeder fishing for newcomers, and if you're looking at all the different products online, if you're wondering what to buy, I hope that's cleared things up for you a bit. So if you did find this video useful, please remember to like and also consider subscribing for more fishing related videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.